I just played a game in the local club, so I want to go over the game and put down my thoughts. Now I need to find the game. Yeah, this is it. Okay. I had the black pieces. My opponent played d4. I played g6. So I was in a bit of an experimental mood. So he played e4, and here I played a6. Sort of a little bit just out, not really wanting to play anything specific, but okay, let's just go through the opening. Knight c3, c5. I don't know if a6 is particularly useful. Bishop e3, knight f6, take, queen a5, just putting a little bit of pressure on a couple of pawns. Okay, so queen to d2. I did consider, like, maybe I could play knight c6, or maybe castle, or knight g4. I ended up deciding on playing knight g4, and then I had thought about this, and then I planned to play e5, and I did. And then he spent a whole lot of time and finally came up with knight takes e5, and okay, it's a good move. Takes here, f4. So I'm not entirely sure if it's entirely justified to play that, but it seems okay. f4, I developed this knight, and now let's see. He took here, and I really don't know about the next move I played. I mean, I felt that I had to play this, but it is a bit mad. So it is possible that there is much better moves. I played queen to b4. It just looks completely crazy to do that. I mean, I'm threatening that, but white has this move, which threatens here and a lot of things. So, I don't know. It's possibly good, but, I mean, the only reason why I ended up playing this and not rejecting it is I felt that black gets a lot of counterplay for the sacrifice material. At this point, I'm like 2 pawns down. And okay, my opponent took up the gauntlet and played knight d5. Which is the whole point. I mean, if he doesn't play this, he's not... if he just goes back, I can just take this pawn, and now he has, like, weaknesses. So, I don't think white is doing too well here. I'm also threatening this, and then I can even take this, and... You don't even play this. I can just trade, and then I'm covering here, so that's nothing. If you want to play for an advantage, you have to play this. And I calculated this, and I felt on this, and check, king d8, knight takes a8, queen takes b2. I felt that when I play bishop takes e5, I'm doing okay. I'm probably doing very well. It will leave white with a lot of weak pawns that I can gobble up at will later. Although I do have this bishop that's not developed. So that's probably the only real downside to the black position. Okay, so takes here. Our opponent played rook c1. Okay, so I was a bit afraid of this at some point, but this move just... it's not good. So, okay, rook c1, bishop take e5. And my opponent found what I think is the best move. c3. And then this continuation happened. This is pretty much necessary for both sides. Well, I mean, white is more or less forced into ending up in this position, and black pretty much, I think, has to play this. I mean, I don't know because I haven't checked with the engine, but it feels like black has to play this to, like, regain the material he lost. So let's see. King takes c1, and then I played rook e8, bishop d3, knight e5, bishop c2, knight g4, rook f1, rook e7, and after rook e7, king d2. And my opponent offered a draw here. I was close to taking it, but I decided to play d6 instead. There's a bit of a nice trick. If this, rook here, this, check, and that drops. So, takes is not particularly great. I mean, if it takes, it's just like helping me away with my only weak pawn. So he didn't do that. He played h3. I played knight e5, blocking the e pawn from moving. So it sort of blocks his bishop in, and then let me just see. I need to okay. Then he played rook f6. And I found no reason not to take this pawn. I mean, there isn't really tactical stuff. Here I can play this. The knight move, I can just play bishop e6. So, I didn't see a reason to not take it, so I just took it. Then he played knight b6. And I played bishop e6 here. And he played bishop b3. I didn't really want to trade, so I played c4. He played bishop a4. And then I played knight d3. It's a kind of nice move. I felt like the most... Oh, wait. We just want to promote that. Okay. So, in this position, it felt like the most natural way for white to play would be to play knight d5 and threaten the rook. In which case, there was a little trick. Just an ever so slightly little detail. I could play knight c5. And then he can play... He probably has to play bishop c2. Spoiling my little trick. But if you played bishop d1, for instance... Oh, actually, not that. If he just takes here, bishop d1 is not great either, but this is worse. Take. I don't want to take this, and I don't want to take this. I take on e4 with check. And then the king moves, well, doesn't really matter, probably here. And then I take here. And amazingly, the knight is so trapped. All these squares are covered. The knight cannot go anywhere. The knight is utterly trapped. Okay, but that didn't happen. I played knight d3, and my opponent actually played bishop c2, spoiling all the fun. So I played knight c5. Let's see, where... King e3, king c7, and now knight a4. He cannot play this because he can't take, so... And here I made maybe a hasty decision. Knight take e4. it worked out, so it's not too bad. Bishop d5. Originally intended to play bishop f5, but it seems there are some issues like this. Oh, I can't even... Oh, I can't go there? Oh, well, then never mind. Okay, but I played this. Oh, actually, yeah, then it works out because... Oh, yeah, right. And then here, but I can just take, so that's fine. Okay, that didn't happen though. This position did occur. And this move did occur. But my opponent decided to play this move. It's probably worse than taking on a6, honestly. And I took... no, not that. King here. Take. King c6. King e5. b5. I just want to play b4 and rush the c-pawn forward. My opponent played rook f1. Probably rook f2 is slightly better, but it's not that big a deal. Now, king c5, a3, a5, rook b1, sort of stopping b4. And I played rook d7. And at this point, my opponent resigned, realizing that he has absolutely no chances. His king is basically out of the game here. He can't really get back home to defend the critical square. And he doesn't even defend d3, so it's... Basically, he's just not able to get back home to defend anything. And the rook is not able to hold. Probably the best would be like rook b2. But even that doesn't really work because now I just infiltrate here. d3 is also okay, but... Yeah, it's... At this point there isn't really anything. So... he can't really take that. I mean, just seems rather hopeless. Yeah, and here he resigned, and I mean, black is 2 pawns up. You can take this, but you're going to pay with like at least one of these. So, yeah. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.